extreme lockdown. So could this all be in your future? Today, we caught a glimpse of which countries Dr. Fauci thinks we should be emulating.
Australia is one of the countries that has done actually quite well, I believe. New Zealand has done well. Some of the Asian countries have done well. If you look, I mean, I would like to say the same for the United States, but the numbers speak for themselves. And we are essentially still going on a day-by-day basis, getting worse and worse.
Joining me now is Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, an epidemiology professor at Stanford and a Stanford Institute senior fellow. Dr. Bhattacharya, if Dr. Fauci's holding up Australia as the gold standard, can we assume he would advocate, if he was really being really open, similar lockdown measures here if he had the chance?
I mean, Australia in Victoria, Melbourne, the last 111 days have been, there's nothing short to say other than draconian. They've suppressed, I would say they've suppressed the civil rights of basically everyone living there. I think lots of people have seen, people going in the park alone, walking alone, told not to sit in park benches, pregnant moms arrested because they were thinking about arranging a protest. I mean, I think if that's the model, I don't think Americans will accept that. And the other thing I would say about Australia is that the lockdown didn't come at no cost. In Australia, in Melbourne, from the lockdown, we've had a 30% increase in suicide attempts among adolescents and young adults over that period. There have been stories of newborns who had heart problems, who couldn't get medical services because of restrictions in travel because of the lockdown again. And then also the familiar cutting back of needed medical services for cancer patients, diabetes patients, and many others. Lockdowns don't come at zero cost.
But also, Dr. Bhattacharya, sorry to interrupt, but is there any evidence that a lockdown has ever, or a quarantine, whatever you want to call it, of a nation as large as the United States would be feasible, practical, unless you're going to call out the military on the people, or that it would actually work? Because presumably you would open up the country at some time, correct?
Yeah, I mean, no lockdown in history has ever eradicated a disease. Even for a place like Australia, which is an island continent, they're not disconnected from the rest of the world. They'll have to continue to do lockdowns forever if they want zero COVID. In the United States, zero COVID is not a possible outcome. It simply would come at too high a cost. We'd have to destroy the nation to get to that point.
Well, there are a lot of people who think that's part of the goal here. I end up resetting the nation, or whatever you want to call it, in order to force new social change. California, which you know well, you hail from, in California, Governor Newsom actually has restrictions in place about how you can celebrate Thanksgiving. I guess it's like a 2-hour limit, or what? I mean, America, are you paying attention? Is this really happening in our country? The answer is yes, and it'll be nationwide if Biden wins.
You're allowed to go into the bathroom once, though, as long as it's sanitized.